Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And today we are building in Brindleton Bay because it is based off of New England. I am from New England and it is currently fall. Well, fall's around the corner. So you can tell from the title of this video, this is going to be a more autumnal themed build. So I actually set the season to fall in Brindleton Bay and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this world. It's probably one of my favorite worlds in the game, all in all, but I also just love it because fall colors look so beautiful. There's just so many trees that change color, all the leaves and everything. It's stunning. So I decided to build here and I wanted to make just a regular old family home, but one that is decorated for fall. That was what I wanted to do because I am in full fall mode. I went apple picking last weekend, I think. I, tried some apple ciders. I got my apple cider donuts because of course I got my apple cider donuts, and I am ready to make applesauce in the crock pot. Like, I'm in full fall mode. I just want everything spooky, everything cozy. I want hot apple cider. I want corn mazes. I want haunted houses. I want to watch Hocus Pocus. That's where I'm at. I'm sick of summer. I am not a fan of summer. I've probably mentioned this in other voiceovers throughout the entire season of summer. I am not a fan of the hot weather. I don't like heat. I don't like being outside. It just drains all of my energy when it's really hot. So I greatly look forward to fall. I wait for it all year. And this house was actually based off of a little model that I found on Pinterest. So it wasn't an actual floor plan or like house plan or anything like that. It was a little, what is it called? Like a little house figurine type thing. It was really cute. I don't think I have the photo anymore, which is unfortunate, but it was really adorable and it was a very simple shape. And I thought it would be a really nice home to try to create in this world. I thought it would fit in really nicely. So we are currently working on the exterior and we actually changed the color palette a few different times. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to go for. I thought that darker colors might, they might fit into that fall vibe a little bit more. So I think we keep these windows from Get Together, but we change them to a darker brown swatch. And I end up changing the siding, I believe off camera, to its permanent state, which ends up just being a white siding. So it made the windows really pop. The dark woods looked really nice. And then I added some ivy, I want to say from Get Together. Yeah, I think it's from Get Together. And I made it like climb up the side of the house. I was originally going to keep this white paneling because I thought that was really pretty. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of wish I did. Instead of the white siding, I really like the paneling. I think it looks a little bit more rustic, which I think fits in with that fall look and vibe a little bit more too. But I ended up switching it to a white siding and I thought it still looked really nice. But let me just say, it was actually really difficult to switch back into this mode of building a suburban house, if you will, after having built cottages for like 2 months straight. So as a lot of you guys know, I'm dealing with a tennis elbow injury, basically is what I'm looking at. And some of my builds have been pre-recorded. Some of them I have actually built with my left hand because I was training myself to use my left hand. So I was building a ton of cottages. I did a little bit of the industrial loft kit when it came out, and then everything else was pre-recorded. So this was actually one of my first builds that wasn't a cottage in 2 months. And it was so weird. I was making just choices I had never made before. I thought that the home right there looked really odd to me. Now that I'm looking at it, playing it back, it really doesn't look that odd, but I made some different choices. Like, I pulled back on a few things. I tried to just go very stereotypical suburban to try to get back in the swing of things, and it was super difficult. I don't know if anyone else experiences that kind of shifting between different build styles, but it's hard for me. So this was kind of uncomfortable and it took a lot longer than I anticipated it was going to take because I was lost. I was honestly lost, especially the landscaping. I was so out of my comfort zone because the landscaping that I've been doing in cottages in Henford-on-Bagley has been entirely different compared to this. I'm using different plants and everything because I always try to make my landscaping blend into the world as well. So this was totally uncomfortable, but I think it came together really cute. So what I end up doing is I take some of these decorative pumpkins out to try to put them at the end of the walkway. But you can see here, we made the switch to the final version of the home, and I added some pumpkins to the stairs because I see that a lot where I live. There's pumpkins all up and down people's front entryways and their front steps, and I use a lot of the ones from, I think it's the Spooky Day stuff pack. But then I remembered that we had the overgrown pumpkin crops, like actual crops in the game, thanks to cottage living, and I used some of those near the front of the walkway. So I used these fake ones. Well, actually, they're not really fake, are they? They are real pumpkins because your Sims carve them and they put them outside with the candles and everything. But I don't think they go bad. I don't think they go bad, do they? No, they don't go bad, but you can crush them. You can like stomp on them and crush them. Anyway, I use different pumpkins near the front entryway here, and I use this picket fence, which I don't think I've ever used in my entire life. I could be wrong, but I thought it was, again, just stereotypical white picket fence, suburban home in New England. Like, how quintessential is that? But I thought it came out really nice, and I loved being able to place these trees and just watching them immediately be like filled with yellow leaves and red leaves. It just makes me so excited because a lot of the trees around me, there were some early turners, I want to say, like a week or two ago, and now they're actually starting to peek through. A lot of the red colors are coming in. We're going to be experiencing those leaf peepers. If you're one of them, I am sorry. I have some animosity towards you because there's so much traffic where I live because of the leaf peepers. And if you don't know what a leaf peeper is, it's basically those who come up to New England to see the leaves change. That's literally what they do. We call them leaf peepers. But anyway, we're into the interior of the home, and I have done a floor plan like this many a time before. So I'm sorry if it looks very familiar, but it seems to be just the way that I lay things out when a home looks like this, because I have made other homes that are kind of similar to the shape as well. And I haven't done floor plans like this in a long time, so I ended up just sliding into something that was super familiar to me, but I still really love it. So this ends up being the living room. I did use the floorboards from Cottage Living because they have quickly become my favorite, and I was so happy to be able to use that window seat as well as this base game couch. I thought it kind of matched. And I just really like the living room because I was able to use this larger coffee table from Seasons as well, and it didn't block the fireplace, it didn't block the sofas. I had just enough room for it, and I always tend to size it down one because it's so big, but I didn't have to size it down at all here. And the autumnal colors, like the living room set the entire tone for the build. I was thrilled. I was so happy with how this living room came out because I even used that plant from Seasons over there in the corner that I never use. I usually put it in a greenhouse if I do use it because I just think it looks really modern. I don't really like the base, I think. I think that's it. I don't like the base, but the colors are just beautiful. And I was even able to use this piece of wall art from Seasons. Just look at this living room. I love it. I really, really love it. I hope you like it too because I thought the colors came together so nicely. And basically what I tried to do is I tried to use decorative pieces where you could change the swatch and have it be non-autumnal, if that makes sense. Like you might have to get rid of the pumpkins, but those holiday cards on the mantle, for example, you could change that over to the anniversary cards or the birthday cards, and it could be something that's a staple of the room without it being fall themed. And that's the same with the little candles because there's like green leaves that you can actually change it to, which are more so, for me, spring, something like that. And then of course the piece of wall art can also be changed to something that kind of represents a different season. So I wanted things to be flexible, I think is the word I'm going to use. But then this ends up being the dining room. These chairs to me are just strictly fall, but there are of course different swatches that you could change as well. And I really loved being able to use a round dining table because I can't remember the last time I did. It was probably recent, but I really can't remember the last time I was able to use the full-size one. And I do add a few decorative pumpkins and those candles there as a centerpiece, but then I remember the cornucopia that we got with Seasons, and I do swap it out and maybe something off camera. But there's also this console table over here with the little teapot and the little teacups from Cottage Living. One of the cutest items that we have, I think. I really wish that we could have had a functional teapot or a kettle, as some may call it as well, but it's fine. It's fine. It's a really cute decorative piece. But I end up putting those two little display shelves in the corner. And then I do put a side table over here, but I think I end up swapping it out for another kind of display shelf later on, just not right here. I think I did it off camera. I did a few things off camera just because, like I mentioned, I'm working with an injury and I was swapping between my right and left hands while I was doing this. So like when one was starting to get irritated, mainly my right arm, I would switch over to the left one. And since my left one's not used to being used so much, it would start to get a little bit irritated. Nothing like the right one though. It's not injured, but it would start to get a little bit irritated. So I would like swap back and forth. I would take a ton of breaks. So there's a lot of cuts, and there are a few things that I did off camera just because I would dive into something and be like, hey, like, how does this look? Do I want to record this? Is this right? I don't know. But now we're working on the kitchen, which is a little bit longer than I was anticipating and not as wide. So it was a bit difficult for me to make particular decisions because I really just didn't know how I wanted things to be laid out. And typically what I try to do is I try to put a breakfast table in a kitchen because it's a less formal place for you to drink coffee and kind of just chat and maybe just eat a bowl of cereal compared to having a full-blown meal with the entire family or with friends over and things like that. So I did put a breakfast table here, and when I play tested it, everything was fine. I know that sometimes people encounter different routing issues depending on their game and how it works. I really don't know. So if it doesn't work, you might have to get rid of the breakfast table, but at least there is a full dining space right through the archway. So it's not that big of a deal, but I thought it was a cute little piece to add here. And I also added a coffee maker. I did kind of split the stove and the oven portions with the Dream Home Decorator stuff. And then there are some floating shelves above this sink, and trying to find clutter that would work in here was a little bit awkward too, because again, I'm just in cottage living mode. So I was trying to find a lot of things with cottage living, but also mix it with some other things that I would typically just put in regular old kitchens. But I love using this shelf here from Cottage Living. I really think it's adorable. I did size it down, I think once or twice, just because it's really, really big and I didn't really have the wall space to put it there as it's full size. But I did use the casserole dish. That is probably one of my favorite decorative items from Cottage Living, by the way. I think it is, I really can't explain why. It just feels like home. I think that's why. It just feels like home. It feels like something that's been passed on from generation to generation, because it kind of looks like, oh, what's it called? Is it like the Cornish stoneware or something like that? Oh man, the name is escaping me, but my mom has a ton of it. It's from the 70s, maybe even earlier. There's probably versions from like the 50s or 60s. Anyway, it has, it strikes a chord of nostalgia for me. So I think that's why I like it so much. But then I also just put some clutter over there in the corner. I added some cookbooks over by the microwave, and there are, I think, 2 counter spaces that are available for your Sims to cook. So you could technically have 2 adults cooking, or, you know, an adult and a child or something like that. Because I was envisioning a family of 2 parents, 2 toddlers, and a child. So that's what, a family of 5? So maybe the parents will actually enlist the help of their child, and they're going to have the space to do it, which is wonderful. I'm trying to be very mindful of that now when I build, to leave at least 2 counter spaces open so you can actually do that cook together action. If you go back to all my other builds, there's usually 1 counter space that's open, so it won't really be suitable for that action. But now we're working on the front entryway, which is, you know, consisting of a coat rack, an armchair, a plant, probably a mirror, my stereotypical stuff that I would put in an entryway. But I really like it because this entryway is, it's full from the back to the front, if that makes sense. So it's the front and back entryways. I didn't separate those spaces. So that back door leads onto the back porch. It's essentially the front and back are mirrored with where the porches are and how big they are. So I wanted the doors to be in the exact same place because that would make it super easy. And it did. It actually made it very easy. So there is a mirror, and there is this little bench here, as well as another decorative shelf that has some gardening things on it from Cottage Living, because I do put a few gardening plots. One of the small boxes, but then there are the huge plots from Cottage Living as well, because I was thinking that this family was going to grow a bunch of pumpkins because this is a fall themed build, so why would I not? And then over here where the stairs are, there's actually a desk and a computer. So this is a family computer. It's not meant for anyone in particular, but I also place the scouting board behind it, thinking that the child in this household was in scouts, and I don't use the scouting board enough. I love it for gameplay because I really enjoy the after school activity of scouting. I like it because there are things for your Sims to do while they're at home, not actively at scout meetings, that contribute to their progress. It's a little bit different, I think, than the drama club, though I haven't played around with the drama club too much. But on that note, with the pack refresh for Spa Day, I am personally really looking forward to future pack refreshes. I think Parenthood could be a great candidate, though of course I'm still hoping for a Generations type expansion pack. That's my hope personally, but I think Parenthood would be a great opportunity for a refresh if a Generations expansion is not something in the works. Does that make sense? Because I feel like you should have one or the other. Like Parenthood should either be updated with, you know, more after school activities and things like that, or we should just get a Generations expansion that has more after school activities and things for elders, et cetera, et cetera. I don't really have a wish list for a Generations expansion pack other than everything that was in The Sims 3, because when I played The Sims 3, I mainly played it once the Generations expansion pack came out. Like, I had the game and I had all of the other packs, but I really didn't play it that much. And once Generations came out, I was in it. I put so many hours into that game. It is unbelievable. But before that, I didn't really touch it. So the fact that I love The Sims 4 so much and play it without a Generations expansion, I think speaks volumes for myself and my preferences. But I think a Generations expansion pack would be great. But anyway, I really look forward to a lot of the refreshes that could be coming. I think that's something that they are kind of focusing on, as well as updating base game, though I know that they're two separate teams. But anyway, I think the Spa Day refresh has been fantastic. Like, I really do like it. I had a very small window of time where I just went and tested everything and kind of played around with it, and it ran so smoothly, and I just think the additions that they made are fantastic. And it's really nice because I think Spa Day was one of the first game packs. I think Outdoor Retreat was the first, but Spa Day may have been the second, if my memory is serving me correctly. I could be wrong. But it's kind of nice because I think that back then, what were the thoughts around these packs and what they could be? I think it's evolved since then, because now we're getting stuff packs and game packs with so much more. Like, we have stuff packs that include gameplay. So I think the line's been a little bit blurred between game and stuff packs and things like that. But I also think that it's really nice that they're able to go back and say, can we reimagine this and make it better and make that update free for those that already have the pack? I think that's fantastic. So I'm really ecstatic about it. I can't wait to see what else they end up doing. And on that tangent, I talked through the entire master bedroom, which is very plainly decorated. It's nothing super exciting. Good God, you can tell I haven't done a voiceover in a while. I say a while. I probably did one a week ago, but a week is a long time to have to talk to yourself about something that you're doing, but talking to yourself as if you're talking to other people. It's a very weird sensation if you haven't experienced it yourself. It's very weird. But this is going to be the toddler's room, and there is a very overarching blue theme in this room, but I really liked it. I thought it was very cute, and it was so fun to get back to making a toddler room that wasn't carrying out the theme of the entire house or the style. It could just be totally unique and all its own. I really enjoyed that, because when I've been doing my cottage builds, I tried to make every single room very, very themed. I tried to make all of them very cottage-esque. But this room is, of course, not fall themed, because fall is just a season. It's not like a decorative style in my head. So it was really nice to be able to just make a toddler room, make it super, super cute and colorful and just really youthful. I just really, really enjoyed it. And it's actually one of the bigger bedrooms as well, because the child's room is fairly small, but I was thinking that maybe the child had this room and then the parents realized they were pregnant with twins. And they were just thinking, oh no, we're going to need a lot more space for these little rugrats, so let's go ahead and swap rooms. And the child was actually thrilled because they didn't have to share a room with their younger siblings. Though they love them, they were not very excited about the prospect of having to share their room with two infants and then toddlers. So I think it was a nice swap. I didn't give it too much thought, though, into the family that lives here with hobbies or anything aside from gardening, just because I had pumpkins on the brain. But other than that, I didn't really go too deep into the family interest and things. But I thought it was a really cute toddler room. And then, sadly enough, I thought I had recorded the child's room, but I didn't. So you will see it for a very brief second, but it's very colorful. It's like white, yellow, blue. There's some pinks in there. You saw it very, very briefly. You'll see it in the screenshots. Since I have not been recording regularly, I'm so out of practice. I had an issue with my gaming laptop where it didn't record my organic cottage build. It didn't record basically more than half of it, and I was devastated. And then here I didn't record one of the rooms. So I guess it's getting better. It's getting a little bit better. But here I'm trying to sort out the backyard. So I was trying to sort out where the gardening plots were going to be. And I placed these seasons sprinklers because someone on Twitter was telling me that they will actually water your crops. I did not test this theory when I built it, so if you do and it works, please tell me, because that would be a huge game changer. Do you know how many sprinklers I'm going to put in my cottage living garden for my Let's Play? So many, all of the sprinklers. On that note too, I will just drop another reminder that Let's Play will continue. I plan on actually filming an episode hopefully next week, because I can use my left hand, my non-injured hand, and it takes far less mouse stuff to record a Let's Play than it does a build. as you could probably tell. So I do really look forward to filming that. It is going to continue. It just might be a little bit more sporadic. But here in the backyard, there is a bricked off area as well. It's kind of an odd shape, but I kind of liked it. It's a little bit weird. And there is an outdoor dining table, a few gardening plots, and a bee box. I didn't give them a grill, but that is something that you could easily add to one of the porches. And then there's also going to be a flower arranging table on the front porch, as well as a woodworking bench on the back porch, and a few chairs out there as well, just so your Sims can sit out on the back porch and look out at their backyard. You could also add some chairs to the front porch if you wanted. I just didn't do it for some silly reason. But that is actually pretty much it for the build. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!
Was it all just a dream, just all in my head? Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said. Tell me and be honest, tell me, did you know that you would believe in me just like the winners know? Tell me and be honest, tell me, should I've known that you'd believe in me? So painfully quiet and slow, I try my best to move